Hello. Welcome to my channel, TV-DICTION, where we talk about all my latest TV obsessions. We're back at it with the Zatima Rewatch to see if the episodes are still giving what they gave from the first time I watched them. The goal is to rewatch it before October 3rd. So that means we got about a few days to complete all of season 2. So bear with me as this episode will be a little long because we're reviewing episodes 1 through 5. Now let's dive right into season 2, episode 1. The season picks up with a steamy shower scene where we see an unenthusiastic Fatima urging Zach that they need to talk because of the, excessive amounts of sex that they've been having. They continue the disagreement downstairs where Zach is denying that he has a problem, with wanting sex too much. But knowing all that Zach went through last season and the shocking revelation that he is now a father, it is clear that Zach was using sex as a coping mechanism instead of expressing his true feelings about everything. We didn't see Deja goofy behind on the back of the paramedic's truck just looking stupid. Girl, you deserve to be dragged all up and through that backyard. And even in front of the paramedic, she wasn't afraid of still selling out to Fatima. I really love how Zach was having Fatima's back, completely denying that Fatima dog walked the hell out of Deja in that backyard. Go ahead, gaslight her as a team. We love to see it. I nearly died when I saw Fatima spun the block to make sure that Zach was gone and not entertaining any more of Deja's foolishness. Zach and Bryce have another awkward run-in at the office. You can tell that Zach was trying to get the heck out of Dodge when Bryce exited that office. I like that Zach was able to confront Bryce about the kiss and open up about how he felt betrayed by Bryce. I don't understand Bryce, though, because he tells Zach that Zach wouldn't understand if he would have told him and that Zach wouldn't have accepted him. So blindsiding him with the kiss helps him understand and accepts you how. You're going to have to work harder on these dry-ass apologies because you crossed the line that I don't think can be uncrossed. Back at the law firm, Angela and Fatima talk out their man woes. Angela has yet to confront Bryce about his true intentions. I get her hesitation because she's probably not ready for the truth, but how much longer can you prevent the inevitable? Fatima does open up about her and Zach's escapades in the bedroom. And of course, Angela is sowing seeds of doubt into Fatima, talking about one woman cannot please him. That is not what your friend want to hear at this moment, okay? Just be supportive or be quiet. Nathan really has some nerve talking about Zach owes him an apology. Sir, excuse me? Not only did you respect my home by bringing one of your side hoes to it, you then proceeded to disrespect my fiance once she called you out on your bullshit. Fatima must have slapped the little sense he had left. Okay, because ain't no way. Jeremiah coming to the barbershop to summon and pressure Zach to go and see their mother still don't sit well with me. I'm with Zach. All these years, she ain't never worried about him before. Now, all of a sudden, she's dying to see him. Be so for real. Frankly, Zach don't owe Miss Gladys, let alone Jeremiah, a goddamn thing, okay? He was out here fending for himself in this world while they stayed on their path of self-destruction. Now that he's up, it's not his job to save them from themselves. That burden is not on him. While I am team, independent woman, stand up, all that, INDEPENDENT, do you know what that means? She got her own car, all that, right? But Fatima getting down in her nice-ass business suit and about to change that tire is crazy. Ma'am, if you don't call that man you have at home or AAA or something, changing it yourself is wild. Angela throwing Ian's past words in Fatima's face rubbed me the wrong way. I get that she was trying to make a point to her friend, but knowing how Ian did her, nothing that man has said should be used to drive a point, okay? It will only bring up negative feelings about herself. Fatima is still operating out of a place of lingering hurt from that relationship, obviously. And because she don't want to put too much trust in Zach, because of the feeling that, there may be a come time where she truly needs him and he's not there. I can assume those feelings stem from Ian abandoning her at the time that she desperately needed his support, through that whole abortion situation. But I can also see that it is unfair to Zach as she's applying that past hurt into this relationship and jeopardizing them moving forward. Then here comes Thirsty Behind Paul. Him and Angela would have made a better pairing than him and Fatima, in my opinion, okay? And he came off way too desperate from the very first time they met. Episode 2 picks up with Zach and Fatima having a conversation where Fatima tells Zach that she thinks he should have a side chick. Like Zach, I was very much confused when I first watched this because what do you mean you want him to have a side chick? Like, ma'am, are you okay? But knowing what the side chick actually is now, that was hilarious AF. Fatima knows she tried the heck out of that man's face. She knows she did. Side note, this scene right here is where we clearly see a plot hole because how did Fatima have the side chick in her car if her car was left in the garage for Paul to fix? Make it make sense. Anyway, though, Fatima is too funny, dog, because she really thought that side chick was the solution. Like, that man was not finna go for that, Fatima. Let's be so for real right now. This scene about the side chick, although funny, really dragged on to me. I think, that conversation was too long. We didn't need, almost 10 minutes of them discussing this side chick. We really didn't. As they sit down for dinner, Fatima tells Zach about their attire. And as expected, Zach got a little upset at Fatima for not calling him. And I do agree with him because she should be able to call him for help, in times like this. That's part of the relationship package. But as someone who is also hyper independent, I understand why Fatima is hesitant on leaning on him. She just don't want to end up getting disappointed or hurt. But I am learning that you have to give the people, especially the people who you love, the opportunity to show up for you. And you not, leaning on them robs them of the joy of helping you. Fatima, girl, me and you both got to work on that, okay? We got to be able to lean on the people who we love, okay? We got to give them that opportunity. Zach was able to open up to Fatima a little about his mother, where she does encourage him to go see her. I mean, she was not wrong, but would I have done that? No. Because like I said, I don't think Zach owed them a goddamn thing, okay? Fatima was hella messed up for not telling her parents about Zach yet, because for them to have been dating for, about a year, I think that's the timeline for the show, and being engaged, moved in together, and for her not to even mention him once, it's a little bit weird and out of pocket, okay? I get that they were strict and stuff, but it's like it was never mentioned in past conversations at all. Okay, I don't agree with that. We did get our first introduction to Miss Gladys when Zach goes to visit her in Jeremiah. The fact that Zach walked past her and didn't recognize his own mother speaks volumes. It further highlights how she has not been a staple in his life for so long that he couldn't even recognize her. And I on the other hand, cannot imagine not being able to recognize my own mother. But there are some people in real life out here navigating these strenuous type relationships with their parental figures, as not all family dynamics are created the same. But of course, the first time Miss Gladys sees her son in God knows how long, she just automatically starts unloading all her problems on him and asking for money and throwing the fact that Jeremiah went to jail for him and, back in his face. Zach is better than me because I wouldn't have taken her ungrateful behind nowhere. And for her to just up and leave like that, like he wasn't waiting for her, is so wild and sad because even in his adult age, she continues to disappoint him. But have the nerve to sit there and act like he owes her something. And it only shows that she really was just trying to get the money from Zach. She didn't need no groceries for real. We were also introduced to Connie in this grocery scene. I'm not going to lie, this first introductions and, some more scenes, down the line, I was hella side-eyeing Connie because she was still trying to push up on him after hearing that he was already spoken for. But by the end of the season, I do have a change of heart for Connie, okay? Right now, I am side-eyeing her. But those feelings will change towards the end. That I know for sure after, watching this season already. OMG, Zach breaking down in that car and Fatima choosing to sit it out with him even though he told her to go inside had me in shambles, still has me in shambles, because in that moment, Zach was able to open up to Fatima and she was able to provide him that reassurance that he so desperately needs, especially after the whole Miss Gladys situation. I know that, of course, that resurfaced the old feelings and old trauma memories from when she did that to him as, when he was younger. I'm glad Fatima was such a champion for him to seek help and find a therapist, which he needs, but she also needs to see one as well. I'm hoping that come season 3, we get to see Fatima focus, on her mental health a little, as she still has some unhealed traumas to work through as well. Ending the episode on that note really had my heart in shambles, and yes, the tissues were out towards the end of this episode. Episode 3 picks up with Angela's thirsty ass all dressed up and waiting for Paul. But scenes like this is why I can't get down with their friendship sometimes, because what the hell she mean by sometimes you need to keep your options open? Your homegirl is engaged to this man. You shouldn't be encouraging this type of behavior. Like, she is committed to him. She is engaged. Please. Deja and her dramatic ass with that damn neck brace. But Fatima knows she ain't have to throw that girl's groceries like that. Girl, you know how much groceries are now? Why would you do that? Zach's show of macho manness was hella disrespectful. He knew he ain't have to throw that money at that man like that, okay? Him showing his ass like that is embarrassing Fatima at her place of work. Like, she works here. Why would you do that? And, I do see his point, because Fatima does flip out practically, like, in that same way with Deja. But the difference between the two is, at this point, Paul hasn't tried anything crazy. Deja has, okay? Paul's only offense right now is being overly nice and flirtatious. Deja has tried to push up on Zach on one too many occasions. Not excusing Fatima's behavior, but the situations are different right now. Angela not being upfront with Bryce really pisses me off, because what is this will you, won't you thing she has going on? Like, she continues to string him along. If she no longer wants to be with him, she needs to be honest, because at this point, you're, titter-tattering between if you want to be with him, if you're not, and you're not being honest with him while being mad that he's not honest with you. So if you want honesty, you got to be able to dish it out. Bryce is really funny, man, because he really thought he was just going to be able to come in and fit right back in with the boys again after attempting to kiss Zach. Be so for real, sir. That was not going to happen. Not in this lifetime, at least. And of course, Nathan is on his bash Fatima tip. Like, he automatically thinks that Zach's sour mood is because Fatima has done something wrong. Even Tony picks up on the animosity that he feels towards Fatima. And apart from Fatima, I'm glad that Zach has Tony to lean on. At least he has one sensible friend to depend on, because we know Nathan ain't got the good sense that God gave him. Side note, being that Fatima still works for Andy in the Zatima verse, it is weird that we haven't seen a cameo from her yet. Like, how we get a cameo from Preston before we get one from Andy, which doesn't make sense. Like, she works at the law firm, so why is Andy not popping up, Why is she not going to Andy's office? But anyways, Fatima getting stuck in the elevator with Paul is such an unfortunate stroke of luck. I was okay at first with the small talk that they were having, because what else is one to do when stuck on an elevator? But when he started talking down on Zach, then I'm like, okay, let's wrap this scene up expeditiously, Bryce out here still not taking accountability for his actions is wild to me, because you made that decision. Now you have to deal with the fallout. Zach did overreact a little when Bryce said, you're acting like I killed your mother. Like, he ain't need to flip this switch on a man like that, but I do get it. Any mention of his mother is a trigger to him, but he did a little too much in that scene. Paul really thought he ate that line up when Fatima asks what is his type and he says you. Now, Paul, what do you mean by that? Do you mean a woman who have continuously shut you down and told you that they're already in a committed relationship? Is that your type? And that tired ass line, can we be friends at least? Like, please get out of here with that, sir. She's done already told you once. She told you twice. Like, how many times do you need to hear it? But I guess shout out to him for the Dr. Reed referral. Okay, Zach just popping up and finding Fatima and Paul in the elevator. Such an unfortunate coincidence. But he didn't have the right to cause a scene like he did. Like, this is still her place of business. Like, Zach did entirely too much in that elevator because your fiance is telling you that nothing happened, but you want to continue to go off on a whole tangent and embarrass her because your damn manly ego was bruised by your own misjudgment of the situation. Like, Zach really showed his whole entire ass in that elevator for absolutely no reason. Honestly, both men and their show of ego was ridiculous. Paul with pinning up Zach to the wall, that was clearly a power move of some sort that he wanted to show Fatima how he get down, to Zach headbutting him. Both men are clearly one and the same because team too much, okay? And again, Angela gives us another reason to side-eye her and question her loyalty to Fatima because, one, why wouldn't you automatically tell Fatima that there's a video about her man acting a fool in the elevator with the contractor? Two, why would you show it to Belinda of all people first? It's really giving, like, whose side are you really on? Because Belinda is clearly not Fatima's friend. And in this moment, I can't tell if you are either. I'm not even going to give Belinda too much attention on her putting the video out there because we already know that she ain't shit and she ain't worth a damn, okay? See, now why did it look like Angela wasn't even finna tell Fatima about the video at the bar? Because Fatima had to pry it out of her, but had the nerve to show it to Belinda first. Girl, you're messy. Nathan little conniving ass calling Connie is foul as hell. Just because you're out here doing your dirt does not mean that you have to lead your friend down that same path. In the same way that Belinda is not Fatima's friend, Nathan is not Zach's friend, because if he was his true friend, he wouldn't be trying to ruin his relationship like this. Like I said, Connie did, have a turning point for me by the end of the season. But in these moments right here, she was trifling as hell because, she's still trying to push up on Zach, knowing that, he's spoken for and he's fully engaged. It's wild. And Zach knows he's wrong for snapping on Fatima about Paul, but not mentioning Connie coming onto him at all. Because that's very hypocritical of you, sir. You're snapping on Fatima for a guy coming onto her, but don't mention that your ex has been trying to push up on you now twice. What are we doing here, sir? What are we doing? We got a first introduction of Fatima's mother in this episode, who now knows of Zach's and Fatima's relationship. And it looks like, she's not approving of the relationship. But we know that attitude does change towards the end of the season, as her mom does have a change of heart about Zach. But in true Zach fashion, he meets Fatima's mother, Miss Mona, for the first time in a compromising situation. Of course, holding that goofy behind Deja. But the way he dropped her, though, when Miss Mona introduced herself as Fatima's mother, was too funny. Like, he really can't seem to do right to save his life at this moment. And I really don't like that for him. Episode 5 picks up with Zach still entertaining Deja goofy behind while Miss Mona is waiting for him outside. Fatima later pulls up to see her mother outside and Zach coming out of Deja's place. Miss Mona does start off by being hypercritical of the whole Zach and Fatima relationship. as I guess any overprotective parent should be, meeting their child's spouse for the first time, especially in not a nice, not so conventional way. It wasn't a formal introduction, and then Zach had another woman in his arms. But Miss Mona was definitely wrong for the way she judged Zach and just automatically assumed that he's like Fatima's biological father. That was unfair to him. Fatima popping out in that black dress to make a point to Zach. Okay, girl, we see you. The body is definitely T. Hey, Alexa, play Body by Megan Thee Stallion. Zach knowing Deja be playing games but always fall for the antics kills me, because why can he never use his proper judgment and discretion when it comes to Deja? Listen, Fatima was trying to help Angela save herself from Pretty Boy Sean, but I guess she was just trying to get over Bryce, but not really get over Bryce. Deja really needs to be stopped, and Zach is way too easily convinced to try and risk it all. Like, the way he's ready to just flip the table without hearing Fatima out first is ridiculous, because why was he staring at Deja in that bathtub like that when she showed him like this quote-unquote picture of Fatima? Well, I guess they're both the same in that regard, because they go 0 to 100 real quick before hearing each other out, but I guess. Anyways, down in the comments, let me know your thoughts on episodes 1 through 5. Until next time, thank you for watching.